Hi everyone. So for my reverse engineering project, I got some inspiration from my two cats that I have at home named Mars and Peach, and I decided to reverse engineer their cat nail clippers that I have at home. So these are the type of cat nail clippers that I use for my cats. They are the Whisker City brand from PetSmart, and they're called cat nail scissors. So these photos that you see here are actually taken from PetSmart.com. So you can see a picture of the scissors closed, slightly opened, and then you can see a picture of the packaging at the right. And I found these cat nail scissors relatively inexpensive. They were $4.99, which is one of the main reasons that I purchased them in the first place. So when thinking about how to use the cat nail scissors, this is a picture of the back side of the packaging, which provides a little bit of information for the purchaser of the product, and it gives some directions as well as some advice for use. So the directions for how to use the cat nail scissors says just to place the cat's nail, the tip of their nail in the clipper, and then push handles together, obviously to make the blades close and to trim the end of the nail. It does go on to say avoid cutting nails too short as bleeding may occur. And above this, it gives some advice for use, which kind of gives some more information about this cutting the nails too short as bleeding may occur. So cats have this part of their nail called the quick, and it is a blood vessel that runs into their nail. So if you cut too far back on the nail, you'll actually cut the quick and the cat's nail can bleed. So it says in the advice for use to make sure that you're looking for that pink colored quick on the cat's nail and to trim in front of that to make sure that your cat's nail is not bleeding. Something else that I read in my research about trimming cat's nails is other products will mention in their directions for use to try to cut the cat's nail at a 45-degree angle, and that's so whenever they walk on the floor, their nail actually runs parallel to the ground that they're walking on. And I noticed that that's just not something that this product particularly mentions in their directions or advice for use. So I did some research, or tried to do some research on the history of pet nail trimmers, and I ended up coming up a little short. So most of the information that I was able to find was actually on nail trimmers for human beings. And so I was able to find that the first patent for nail trimmers was applied for in 1875. In the United States, it was applied for by a man named Valentine Fogarty, and in the United Kingdom by David Gestetner. However, it really didn't give much information on the history of pet nail trimming or kind of how those products have evolved over time. Something that I was able to find were nail trimmers for dogs, most of the ones that are like files that you use to file down a dog's nails because they're a bit bigger and thicker than a cat's. But I wasn't able to find any information for the specific scissor style trimmer that I'm looking at in this project particularly. So looking at the materials that I think were used to create these cat nail scissors, I watched quite a few videos on how scissors in general are made. They were not specific to cat nail scissors. It was kitchen shears and then just general house scissors that you would find. But I was able to make some inferences about the type of materials and the type of manufacturing that I think they're probably using to create these cat nail scissors as well. So for the trimmer blades on the scissors, it's some type of hard metal. The handles are made of plastic, and then the grips are made of some type of rubber or some type of more elastic plastic. So whenever you can separate the grips that you see in blue here in the picture from the handles of the scissors themselves. And if you pull on it, it is pretty stretchy. It moves and it's pretty pliable. So looking at how it's made, from the videos I watched on the manufacturing of kitchen shears and general purpose scissors, I think that the scissor blades have been machined, and if you look closely at the pictures, you can see some of those lines indicating that a machining process took place. You can also see that the scissor blades have this half circle shape, and that's just to help the user increase their visibility of where the cat's nail is being placed. And it makes for an easier trim is what some of the websites that I looked at mentioned. There's also a rivet here that holds the two blades together and holds them in place. And so you can see in the pictures, you can see the front side on the left and the back side on the right of that rivet. Looking at the plastic handles, I believe that these were injection molded around the blade of the scissors. And so if you look at the picture on the left and the picture in the middle, you can actually see a dark spot in the white handle, and then that the white continues up without that dark undertone. So what that actually is showing is that where the metal handle of the scissor blade itself stops, and then the plastic from the injection molding continues up into the finger hole where the fingers are placed to operate the scissors. And then on the picture on the far right, you can also see some lines on the edge of the scissors, which kind of indicate that it was injection molded and then removed from those molds, and that line is kind of the leftover material or leftover indication of that process. So finally, we have the rubber grip, and as you can see, I removed the rubber grip from the finger holes just so we could get a closer picture of it, a closer image. So the one that I have on my actual scissors at home is gray instead of being blue, but it is the same exact product apart from that color. So looking at the rubber grips, I think that this was also injection molded, and you can see on the inside of that rubber ring, there's that similar line that we saw on the plastic handles of the scissors, indicating that it was in an injection mold and then removed from that mold. I was also able to find that this product is distributed by Pacific Coast Distributing in Phoenix, Arizona. It had that information on the back of the packaging from PetSmart.com. What I was not able to figure out is where this is actually manufactured. So on the one handle, the white plastic handle of the scissor, it did have the word China stamped on it, so I can infer it was made in China. However, it said nothing about that on the packaging of the item. I couldn't find any information about where PetSmart does its manufacturing either. So looking more closely at how this item operates, this is an example of a first-class lever. So the effort is being applied in the handles of the scissor where the operator would put their fingers and then move the scissor handles together, applying effort or applying force. The fulcrum is in the center where you see that rivet, so that's connecting those two blades, and then the resistance is applied in that half circle shape of the scissor blades themselves, where the cat's nail will be inserted, and then the effort will force the nail to be clipped. So looking at some similar products, I just did some basic research on PetSmart.com, and so these were the similar products that I found on their website. So there's Chi for Cats nail scissors. This is almost an identical product to the Whisker City cat nail scissors, and it has a very similar price point. So the Whisker City scissors are $4.99, while the Chi for Cats nail scissors are $5.99. Although I will say, if anybody is in the market for a new pair of cat nail scissors, PetSmart is having a sale right now, and the scissors are on sale for $3.70 something cents. So anybody looking for a deal, I would hit up PetSmart.com. I was also able to find the Whisker City cat nail clipper, and this is what's called a plier style nail clipper. These do have a slightly higher price point at $12.99, and I will say that when I first adopted my cat, this is the type of nail clipper that I tried at first. However, I found it much more difficult to see. It had less visibility whenever I was clipping my cat's nail. And I also found it more difficult to use just because of the extra material that I felt like I had to hold in my hand. I felt like I had less control because there was nothing kind of connecting the item to my hand. I had to operate it myself without any type of grip surrounding my fingers. And then the final one that I took from PetSmart.com is the Whisker City Guillotine cat nail clipper. And in my research, this is the third style of cat nail clipper called the Guillotine. So you push the handles together and then the blade kind of pops up and pushes or clips the cat's nail. This is the most expensive one from PetSmart.com at $14.99. I will say this is just the selection from PetSmart.com. So, I know that you can also get cat nail clippers at Amazon, Target, Walmart, Petco, Chewy.com, and I'm sure, I know even in some grocery stores in the pet care aisles that they have some nail trimmers as well, so that you can get these many different places. So some recommended changes that I would have for this product, as you can see, these are pictures of my personal pair of cat nail scissors from my house. If you look at the picture on the right, the rubber grips, because they can pop out of the finger holes on the scissor handles, it makes it difficult to operate at times. So the longer that I've had the nail scissors, I feel like the looser the rubber grips have become. And so you can see that at this point, I only have one rubber grip left because I think the second one fell out at some point and I lost it or threw it away because I got tired of trying to pop it back into place, and then it would just come out again every time I use them. So whenever I use the scissors currently, that one rubber grip that is left, it actually stays on my finger when I'm operating the scissors, and it will stay on my finger, and then the scissors slide, and it makes it much more difficult to operate. So I would create scissors that have more of an attached rubber grip, or that the grip is attached to the plastic itself so that it stays tight. Something else that I would also do is adjust the tension of the scissors. So if you look at the left-hand picture, you can see that when the scissors are opened, they can actually extend the entire way, and there's nothing to stop them or prevent them from opening. This does make it much more difficult to operate them because it gives you less control whenever you're clipping your cat's nails. So I would add some sort of mechanism, or even just tighten that rivet so that the handles can't completely open and extend the entire way.